Are you ready to trust in the Lord? So get ready.
My name is Jeremiah Farr, and I'm here in place of Pastor Manning. He appointed me to do this, and I also thank Pastor Manning first for allowing me to do this. Thank God as well for allowing me to sit here. And I'm here today to talk about, me. So I would like to begin from the beginning where I was born and to where I am now. So like I said again, my name is Jeremiah Farr, and I was born with a brain disorder known as hydrocephalus. Hydrocephalus is a brain disorder where you have cerebrospinal fluid in the cavities of your brain. And so because of this, I had to have something known as a VP shunt. So when I was 3 days old, I had surgery in order to have that shunt put in. And my mother had told me stories where after I had it put in, even before then, Pastor was there and he was holding me first. He was one of the first people to actually hold me when I was born, and he had prayed over me. And that is why I am blessed today, because people who have hydrocephalus, they usually are not able to do what I do. I look at my pediatrician. He likes to call me the miracle child because of the fact that people with hydrocephalus, they're not known to speak very well. They're not known to do as much activities and things of that nature that I do myself. And so it's only because of the grace of God and the fact that Pastor had prayed over me to the fact that I am as well as I am today. So if you fast forward a little bit, growing up was kind of hard for me because of the fact that I had hydrocephalus. So oftentimes I wasn't very comfortable with myself. As I got older, when I hit the age of 14, 15, that's when I started growing my hair out. And it was really because I have a bald spot in the back of my head, and I didn't want anyone to see it at the time. So I believed that growing my hair, you wouldn't see it, and it was true. So in a way, I was hiding of the fact of who I really was, and I was afraid that people would find out and make fun of me and things of that nature. So I've been in the church all my life. I'm now 18 years old, and it hasn't always been easy. It's not easy. It wasn't easy for the fact that I'm still sitting here today, and it's because, again, the grace of God and the fact that Pastor, he forgave me and he allowed me to be a part of the ministry. I'm the church organist, so I've been playing the piano. I'm the church organist, but I've been playing the piano first. I started playing the piano when I was 3 years old, and it started because I would play during the time of when the school, we have chapel here in the school, and when we have chapel, we sing songs and sing hymns of that nature, and oftentimes the teachers at the time, they let me play, and oftentimes I heard that I was only 1, 2, 3, so I wasn't getting it, but you could still hear that I was able to get some of it, some of the songs that they were singing. And so that's when I really started playing. And then as I got older, I started playing more and more. I got lessons, and I started playing the organ. Pastor put me on the organ. I think I was 14 years old when I started playing the organ. At the time, I hadn't never played the organ. I only played the piano, so I didn't know if I could really do it. I didn't think I wanted to do it. And at first, when I first started playing the organ, I didn't want to do it because that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to play the piano because that's what I knew how to do. So I didn't want to play the organ. I didn't think I'll be any good at the organ. And now I look back at those times, those was like 4 years ago, and I look now and I'm not perfect at playing the organ, no way, in any way. And I still have much to learn, but I'll say that I've gotten so much better than I was at that time when I first started playing, when Pastor appointed me. And it really taught me a lesson because at a young age, I didn't really like people telling me what to do. When I was in school, I didn't really get in trouble that often, but oftentimes when I did, it was because I had a problem when teachers told me to do things. I didn't want to do it. I caught attitudes very quickly. And not oftentimes, but I would get in trouble because of that. So when Pastor appointed me to the organ, I had an attitude because it's not something that I really wanted to do. And I think that's some of the reason why I didn't do as well as I could have done. So I believe that now I accepted the fact that I play the organ. I actually enjoy and I love playing the organ now. And the fact that Pastor has appointed me to even play in this church is a blessing right there, and one that I should not and will not, again, take for granted, because he doesn't have to let me play. He doesn't have to let me play. We have people in the church who do know how to play. We have Gabriel, Christian, they know how to play instruments. And so he doesn't have to let me play the organ, but the fact that he lets me. And I'm actually grateful for that, because when I first started, I didn't want to do it. To be honest, I didn't want to do it at all. We used to have praise at the time, and I didn't want to play for praise. Sometimes I would just sit there and I would take my time when I had to play. And I was not right. I was wrong. And Pastor, I apologize for that. Because when you appointed me for the reason of, you knew that I could play the organ. You knew that. I didn't know it at the time that I could play, but you knew that. And I didn't listen. And I apologize for that. Because Pastor's the man of God. And if the man of God tells you to do something, then you have to do it. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He knows what he's doing. He's been here for a very long time. He's been doing this for a while, so he knows what he's doing. So who am I, a 14-year-old kid, who am I to tell Pastor that, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, you don't know what you're doing? And even the same thing applies now. Now I'm 18 years old. I'm in a group, Give It Up, with my fellow friends, Christian and Gabriel. And Pastor tells us to go listen to music. He had told us to go listen to music before. He had told us the people who we should listen to. And I'm the oldest. I'm the 18, so I'm the oldest of the group. And so I feel that, not so much that I'm the leader, but I feel that it's my job to make sure that Christian and Gabriel do what they're supposed to do. But if I'm not doing it myself, then how can I tell them to do what they're supposed to do? Pastor, he told us to listen to people like Jimmy Smith, Chuck Berry, Little Richard. And when Pastor told us that, I didn't want to do it. I wanted to keep listening to my music. He's trying to help us and to become righteous men and to become world-known musicians. But I didn't want to listen. I believe that not during the time, but I believe that everything he was saying, it wouldn't help us in the now. I felt that the music that we made should be music that the artists that were making music now, I felt that we should make music like that, because I was thinking to myself that if that's how they got famous in this day and age, then why can't we do the same? I thought that the way Pastor had told us, oh, well, that's the way it used to be done. That's the way old people used to do it. But I was wrong. I'm wrong. Because, like I said again, if the man of God tells you to do something, he knows what he's talking about. God talks to him. He talks to him. So if God talks to him, who am I to say, oh, you don't know what you're talking about? That's dumb. That's foolish. That was foolish for me to say that. That was foolish for me to think that. And again, Pastor, I apologize for that, because I had no right to even think that in the first place. Now, I'm in a place where I listen to the music that Pastor tells us. Right now, Give It Up, we're in the progress of making a song that Pastor had told us to do, where he told us a tweet that he had mentioned that he wanted us to base a song off of. And we're in the progress of making that now. And now, as we make it, I listen. This is something that Jimmy Smith had played. He does a lot of he sings, but he does a lot of music where it's just him playing. And he did a remake of Louis Armstrong's "What a Wonderful World," and I don't know, it's just something about that. It's something about that he made that it really caught on to me. I think I listened to at least a lot. I listened to a lot. So, and it's funny because at the time when Pastor told us to listen to music, I thought that I had listened to old music. I did, but it wasn't. It was music that not so much I don't think Pastor would approve of, but it was more the fact that it wasn't who he told me to listen to. Because yes, I did listen to old music, but I wasn't listening to Jimmy Smith. I wasn't listening to Little Richard. I wasn't listening to Chuck Berry. I wasn't listening to them. And yes, I wasn't listening to old music, but I was listening to people who I thought I should listen to. And that's the problem. When you start thinking for yourself, when you think that you know better. And the thing about it is, like I said, I'm only 18. I haven't lived as long as Pastor. Pastor knows so much more than me. And it would be dumb, it would be foolish of me to actually think that I know more than Pastor. Because I'm only 18. And even if I was older, he's still the man of God. God chose him to talk to us. God chose him to preach to us. God told him about Allah. He didn't tell me. So who am I to say, oh, you don't know what you're, Pastor, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're doing. That's foolish for me to even think that. And that was my problem. And that's why I think that, no, that's not what I think. That's why I know that Give It Up has not done what they're supposed to. I know that's why we're not as successful as we could be. Is the fact that we weren't listening to Pastor. Because, and I believe that it really starts with me because I'm the oldest. So Christian and Gabriel, although they might not like to admit it sometimes, but they look up to me. And so for the fact that if they look up to me, I can't do things based off of what I think is right, because that's being selfish for me. Not only is it being disobedient to Pastor, but it's being selfish because I know that I have people like Christian, Gabriel, Honor, Jedediah, Isaiah, they look up to me. And so if they're looking up to me, then who am I to say that, oh, I'm not going to listen to Pastor? That's dumb. That doesn't make any sense at all, because Pastor knows better. He knows more than I do. And so if he knows more than I do, then there's no reason why I should tell Pastor or even remotely think about it in any way, shape, or form that you don't know what you're talking about, that, oh, you're just an old man, you don't know what you're talking about, I know more. No, I was wrong. And it's situations like that caused me, when I was 15 years old, I actually got kicked out the church. But I believe that before you actually get physically kicked out, you're spiritually kicked out. You spiritually kick yourself out of the church. I remember when I was 13, 14 years old, and I was walking to the store with someone. That person was no longer here in the church. But they had asked me, they said, Jeremiah, do you want to be here? And I said, no, I don't. I said, I don't want to be in the church anymore. I said, because I feel like, oh, there's so much that I can't do. And as a young person, Pastor understands the fact that, oh, yes, sometimes it can be like that. But I think the fact that when I was younger, I had kicked myself out before Pastor physically kicked me out, yes. But I spiritually left the church when I was about the age of 13 or 14 because I didn't want to be here anymore. I didn't want to come to church on Saturday. I didn't want to come to church on Wednesdays. I didn't want to do any of it anymore. So, and then when I was 15, 2016, I got kicked out the church. And it was funny because before I got kicked out, I used to say that, oh, I wanted to stay out late. I wanted to play basketball. I wanted to go to the movies. I wanted to do things like that nature. So when I got kicked out, I think the first or second day I got kicked out, I did that. I went to the movies. I played basketball. I stayed out late. The next day, I woke up and I just sat there and I sat there in the bed and I'm thinking, I said that I just risked everything. I just threw away everything I had just to do something. It's so stupid when I think about it now. It's so stupid because I look back and I think to myself that why would I throw away everything that I had just to do something for one night? Then the next morning I woke up and I thought to myself, I didn't even do anything. It was I didn't have a good time. It wasn't like fun. I didn't have like a fun time or anything like that. It was boring. I was boring. I don't know. You look back. I'm still young. I'm still very young. I'm only 18 years old. But you look back at your past self, and I think to myself, I was really dumb. I was really stupid to think that, oh, Pastor doesn't know what he's talking about. I don't really want to be here anymore. It's just dumb to think that because when you go out there and you experience what you think is all that, you go out and experience it, you realize, well, it's not as all that as you think it is. And then you think about that fact, and then you just wake up and you just realize that you threw everything away. When I first got kicked out, I don't think I truly realized what I didn't, because the phrase that people say that, oh, you never realize what you have until it's gone. So I didn't appreciate what I had. I didn't appreciate the fact that I got to play the instruments. I didn't appreciate the fact that I got to sit here in the pew and listen to Pastor every week. I took that for granted. And that's something that if you're a member of the church And if you get the chance to sit in the pews, even if you're on live stream, if you're a member of the church, you should never take for granted the fact that you are a member of the church. Because there's no other church that does what we do. There's no other church that's preaching the way Pastor Manny preaches. There's no other preacher that does that. So for me to throw that all away just for one night, that wasn't fun at all. It's dumb. It's foolish. And to think that I was really longing for that. I was longing for that. It really doesn't make any sense. And I thank God. I really thank God that Pastor Manny kicked me out. I do, because if Pastor hadn't kicked me out, then I don't think I would have realized this for myself. I don't think I would have realized what I had. I don't think I would have realized everything that I had done before in not my past life, but everything I had done previously that was dumb, was stupid. I don't think I would have realized that. I don't think I would have realized that I put the church in danger. I didn't realize that when I got kicked out. I didn't realize that at all. It wasn't until a couple years later where I realized what I actually done. Sometimes when something happens to you, or you get in trouble, or you get rebuked, you don't really realize. Sometimes you might not realize what you have actually done wrong. Sometimes it might take a couple years for you to realize what you've done wrong, and it might take a couple years for you to redeem yourself. And I really don't think that I'm fully redeemed yet. I still think that I have to prove myself to the pastor and to everyone in the congregation who I let down because of the fact that I thought that I knew better, and I decided to put my selfish ways in front of Jedediah, in front of Honor, Isaiah, Gabriel, Christian. I did that, and that's something that I have to live with for the rest of my life. No, it's not easy, but it's something that I have to live with. And again, I thank Pastor so much for kicking me out, because if Pastor had not kicked me out, I would have been the same person who I was, and I would not be the person I am today. I got accepted at Adelphi University and Pace University, and now Pastor calls me the $160,000 man. And it's only because of the fact that he kicked me out. Because if Pastor had not kicked me out, and I would have stayed, there's no way I would have gotten a scholarship. There's no way I would have gotten any scholarships whatsoever. None. I would have, if Pastor had let me stay, if I graduated ATLAH High School, there's no way I would have gotten a scholarship. And I know that. I know that the only reason I got a scholarship because the fact that I'm here, the fact that God had mercy on me, Pastor had mercy on me, there's no way in the world that I would have gotten a scholarship on my own. And I know that. It's the fact that I'm starting school next week Monday is my first day of school, and I'm so glad because I'm ready. I think that I'm ready because I have gotten the teachings from Pastor Manning ever since I was a young boy. Even though I neglected what he was saying, I didn't listen. I thought he was wrong. That was the past me. Now I feel that I'm listening more in service. I'm listening more in church to what Pastor Manning is actually saying. I'm not keeping my head down. I'm not on my phone. I'm not doing that anymore like I used to before. I'm listening. I always bring my Bible to church. I'm always listening to everything that Pastor Manning says now, because now I know that everything he says is vital to the fact that I have to go to school. And Pastor tells us he tells the college students and everyone in the church as well that there's a dangerous word out there. And sometimes I have to remember that, and I have to remember all the teachings that Pastor Manning has given me, or he has told me growing up. Because without the teachings, I'm lost. Without the teachings, I'm lost. And I know that. And I think that it's a matter of wisdom. I think that because sometimes you could get kicked out, and sometimes Pastor allows you to come back, and I'm very grateful that he has allowed me to come back. But sometimes you can allow yourself to come back, but you're not truly grateful, and you're not truly understanding as to why you came back. When I came back, and I first sat on the pews, it was weird. It was weird for me because I didn't feel like I really should be here. And sometimes now I feel that not so much that I shouldn't be here, but more of I don't deserve to be here. Of all the wrong that I did towards the church, towards Pastor Manning, I don't feel that I deserve to be here sometimes. I don't deserve to sit in the pews or to touch the piano keys, touch the organ. Sometimes I don't feel like I'm worthy enough. But the fact that I'm able to, it makes me truly grateful. The fact that Pastor has actually forgiven me, and he has allowed me to be here in the church. And I still feel like that I really wanted to deeply apologize because the things I did, I really shouldn't have done them. And the things about it, and I know that you could say, oh yes, he was young. I don't think me being young has anything to do with it, because I think that even if I was older, I think I still could have made the same mistake. I don't think it has anything to do with me being young. I think it's to do with me just thinking about the fact that, oh, I think I know better, or I think that pastor's wrong and I'm right. But again, who am I to say that? Who am I? I'm no one compared to pastor. The fact that he's the man of God, God talks to him every night. The fact that God talks to him every night, who am I? Who am I to honestly say, Pastor, you don't know what you're talking about? Whether that's to do with anything, whether to do with school, music. If Pastor Manny counsels you, if he talks to you, then anything he says to you, it's just, you should automatically take it and use it. You shouldn't take it and just, oh, I don't need that. I'm not going to listen to what he's saying because he doesn't know what he's doing. No, he absolutely does know what he's doing. And I think sometimes growing up, for me, it was hard for me to accept that, because, like I said again, when I was younger, I didn't like people correcting me. I didn't like people telling me what to do. I didn't like authority, and that was my problem. And then also at the ages of 14, that's when I started high school, and that's when I really started to do the things like when I sleep outside and shovel the snow. When I first started, Elder Flo was the one, he had told me everything to do. He was the one, he was pointing me to do everything, and he had told me, oh, go outside, go sweep. He was looking over my shoulder to make sure I did everything right. And now he has told me that now is my turn to pass it on to Israel, because me and Christian were going away to college. So now it's my turn to give that over to Israel to make sure he does everything that he's supposed to do. So I really want to thank Pastor for allowing me, for the chance, obviously, to be here. But I also want to thank Elder Ford, because Pastor appointed Elder Ford to appoint me to watch the gate in the morning and in the afternoon, to make sure I sweep, to make sure I shovel. He appointed him to do that. And Elder Ford, he sternly told me everything that I was supposed to do. And although sometimes, no, I didn't like it. No, sometimes I didn't want to do it. And sometimes it can't be like that. And sometimes I woke up and I didn't feel like coming downstairs early in the morning to watch the gate. But it's not about me. We all have to play a small part in a big production and helping the ministry. And I sometimes I didn't want to do my part. And sometimes I took my part for granted. When I got kicked out, the fact that I woke up and I thought about the fact that, oh, I don't do anything. I can't put the instruments anymore. I can't sweep. It was funny because when I came back and I started doing more and more in the church, and the church as I started doing more and more, I actually started to enjoy it. Now when I sweep, sometimes I might not want to sweep sometimes. I actually do enjoy sweeping the street. I really do enjoy sweeping the street. And now I look now at Israel, and I look now at Honor, because I look at Honor because Honor loves to sweep. He really does love to sweep, and he loves to take out the garbage. Zarek too. All the young men, Zarek, Brahima, they actually like to do that things. And I pray that stays in them as they grow. I pray that stays in them as they grow older, because sometimes that can it can leave a person. Because when I was younger, I like to do little things like that, like the fact that someone told me to take out the garbage. I enjoy to take out the garbage. And I pray that as they're young, but I pray that as they get older, that they keep that in them. Because as I got older, I didn't really want to take out the garbage anymore. I didn't really want to sweep. And again, sometimes it's the little things that you take for granted. It's the fact that sometimes the little things, we should never take for granted the fact that we can do anything for this ministry. We should never take the fact that we get to sit here and listen to the pastor, even if you're on live stream. You should never take that for granted, because of the fact that it can be taken away just like that. And when it goes away, you sit there and you think about everything that you had, because you didn't realize what you had until you lost it. It's really a matter of wisdom. And I'm not saying I'm a wise person, because I don't pray as much as I need to. I do need to pray more. I'm not the man, the righteous man that I should be. I'm working towards that. But I pray that Pastor will always I pray that pastor will continue to work with me until I get to that point. No, I may not like everything that he says, but I have to go and pray, and I have to like it. And if I don't like it, then I need to pray that I do like it. I need to pray that I understand it, because I think it's also a matter of understanding that this pastor does tell you to do something, or anyone for that matter might tell me to do something, and I might not understand why they're doing it. But not so much understanding, but if I just do it, at least I'll be blessed if I just do it. Sometimes I've been told to do something, and because I don't understand, I often don't do it. And that's what I did when pastor told us to listen to the older music. Is that pastor told us to do it, but I didn't understand why would he tell us to do that when we know how to make music. We make music. We know how to play the instruments. So why would he tell us to, go listen to this, go listen to that? Why would he tell us to do that? I didn't understand it. And sometimes I might not understand it now, but I have to just go and pray. And I just have to pray. And if I pray, and prayer it helps. So if I pray, then I'll understand everything that he's trying to tell us and actually do it. And even if I don't understand, to at least do it. Even if you might not understand something, at least do it. Because it's worse. It's worse to not understand and to not do it than to understand and do it. I think that sometimes we have to look at ourselves and think, am I doing the right thing? And oftentimes growing up, I didn't do the right thing. I didn't think about the fact that I had people looking at me growing up. I had people not so much wanting to be like me, but wanting to do the things that I did. And I took that for granted. And that's something that I will never do again. Yes, I am going away. I'm not going away, but yes, I am going to college. But in any way, shape, or form, I'm still helping the church in any way I can. If I can wake up early in the morning and if I can sweep, then yes, I will sweep. If I can wake up, if I can wash the door in the morning, then yes, I will wash the door in the morning. It's not like, I'm going away to college and I'm not coming back. No, I'm going away to college and I'm coming back every single day to help in any way, shape, or form that I can. I don't want to ever wake up and have that feeling of I'm not a member of the ATLAH Ministry Church. It's a scary feeling. It's a scary feeling, and one that I wish that many do not experience. But it's a scary feeling that when you wake up, you're not a member of the church anymore. And it's one of the hardest things I have to do in my life. But I'm thanking God that I actually went through it. I'm thanking God because, again, if I did not, then I would not be the $160,000 man. I would not have gotten any scholarship. I probably would not have got accepted to college. Oftentimes, me and Christian, we talk amongst ourselves, and I had told him that. I said, Christian, I don't know. Maybe if I've stayed, maybe if I never asked Pastor, or maybe I never repented, and Pastor allowed me to come back, I don't know if I would have went to college. I don't know if I would have. Sometimes I think that I probably would have graduated high school, yes, but I think that would have been it for me. I think I would have probably got a mediocre job, and that would have been it. But the fact that I'm here, and the lessons that the teachers here, the teachers in the school, they put in me, they told me, you can't do that. They told me, after you finish high school, you're going to college. And yes, I am going to college. Yes, after I graduate college, I'm going to medical school, and I will become the first righteous male doctor for the Church of ATLAH. I will do that. That's a promise. I will do that. That's no doubt that I'm not going to do that. But I'm only doing it, in effect, because I know that I'm only doing it. I'm only getting the opportunity to do it because of the fact that I'm here in this church. And that was something that I'll always be grateful for. And I'll always be grateful to Pastor, always be grateful to God that they allowed me to be here in the church. So, peace.
This is a bit of a news blog we do, looking at spiritual wickedness in high places for the most part, making some observations about it and giving people a biblical foundation to the way of interpreting, rather than have Sean Hannity or Laura Ingraham or Janine Pirro or Anderson Cooper or Rachel Maddow or Don Lemon, Rush Limbaugh interpret what's going on in the world. You come to me and I'll tell you based on what the Word of God says. They'll just give you their worldly, sinful view. But the Manning Report will tell you what God has said, whether to say yea or nay, whether to go or to stay. You'll be led by the word of Almighty God. Come to the Manning Report on a daily basis to interpret the spiritual wickedness in high places, because there's plenty of it that's going on. And so I am he. I'm the Lord's servant, James David Righteous Rebel Manning, and I'm here to serve you with news and information.